What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a sunny afternoon here in Findlay, Ohio. The school year is almost over. This is finals week for me, which means as of this coming Friday, I will no longer be working at my current university, which is going to be really strange. When I first moved to Ohio in 2007, I came out here as a law student, then started teaching at the university, and I've been attached to Ohio Northern from 2007 to 2022. That's a long time to be in one place. But on the new things, I'm looking forward to the next adventure at a new university where I'll be doing a little bit of different stuff, but I think it'll be better suited for my skill set, so I'm kind of excited. Now that the school year is about to be over, I can turn my brain to other pursuits. So I was sitting here thinking to myself, what the heck is going on with craft beer? I went to the store today, the grocery store. It used to have a pretty good craft beer selection. This is a Kroger here in Findlay, Ohio. Used to have some individual singles you get mixed six-packs from, and a decent, I would say, fair amount of different craft beers, as well as the stuff you'd expect to see, the macros. Now, I will say in the last few months, I've noticed the shelf space occupied by craft beers has been shrinking, not just at the Kroger, but at the Meijer and a lot of the other stores around here too. And it does have me a little bit worried. The place that used to be craft beer is now taken up by Alco Pops and by seltzers and all these other types of things. Now look, I'm not going to be the one to sit here and complain about what others drink. You can spend your money on whatever it is you like. I just find it kind of sad to see that craft beer is starting to lose its place on the shelf. And it really does have me wondering, has the craft beer bubble exploded? Now, I've lived through, this once before. I guess you could talk to many and they'd say the original craft beer boom, if you want to call it that, or the beginning of the craft beer industry is probably late 70s, early 80s with Sierra Nevada and folks like that. I lived through, I guess, the second wave, or at least the way I do the math, which would have been the 90s. When I was in college in the 90s, there was tons of breweries popping up all over the place. A lot of them were brew pubs, little microbreweries, and a lot of them, if not most of them, went out of business. So I was really excited to see this third wave, I guess, the more recent wave of craft beer and breweries popping up everywhere. But I am starting to wonder, is the trend ending as people turn towards these other kinds of drinks? I hope not, because I really enjoy being able to try different beers from different places all over the country and all over the world. But I have noticed this, that it's starting to shrink. So let me know what it looks like in the shelves where you live. I mean, I do have one or two good beer shops that are still solid, but I mean the main marketplace, I think, where you'd see grocery stores, places like that where you'd pick up beer starting to go away. It does have me a little concerned. Why? I mean, I guess there's a number of reasons. One is probably the economy. Craft beer is expensive and seems to be getting more expensive every day. I remember going to buy 4-packs, and I remember them being $13-14 and thinking like, ooh, this is expensive. The other day I went to a shop and I saw one 450 North, $38.50 for a 4-pack. I'm sure it's a great beer. But I just can't bring myself to spend $38.50 on 4 beers that I'm not even sure if I'm going to like. And I'm sure there are many other people, not just in America, but around the world, that find themselves being crunched. The economy's in the shitter right now. And usually if you have to put food on the table for the kids and the family, buying fancy beer usually comes in second. So maybe that's one of the reasons why we're seeing less. But it does kind of concern me. But it did get me thinking again, if the economy is tight, what is your go-to beer? What's a decent brew you could go to that's not going to break the bank? Now, and I did stumble across this. This is Columbus Lager from the Columbus Brewing Company, and I picked up a 15-pack of this for $16.99, which seems like a pretty decent buy. I mean, it's a buck and change a can, and if you're dealing with craft beer, I don't think you can beat that. Now, this beer has gotten a bit of notoriety recently. This was just in the World Beer Cup and got a bronze medal. So third place in the category. Apparently there are multiple lagers or American lager categories. This is Contemporary American Style Lager. So I hear Contemporary American Style and I think of Kenny G and elevator music. So I hope this isn't like that. 4.5% ABV, so it is a little bit on the lighter side. I couldn't find anything on the IBUs. Brewed and canned, Columbus Brewing Company, Columbus, Ohio. Let's give it a shot. As far as the ratings go, did pretty decent, 3.61 on Untapped. As far as Beer Advocate, this was listed two different ways. One person had it listed as Columbus Lager, and another was just Columbus Brewing Company Lager. Either way, only one person had checked into either. The ratings, I think it was a 3.79 and a 3.81 or something like that. So, all in all, pretty decent scores, although obviously very low sample size. All right, let's take a look at this thing. Very light in color. If I get my Brew HQ SRM chart, I would probably go with maybe a 4 or a 5. Maybe like a pale gold. It's got a tiny bit of goldness to it. It's not just yellow, but it is still kind of crystal clear and light in color. Fair amount of carbonation in there, decent sized bubbles. The head was probably finger and a half, 2 fingers before I started yapping. It's down to about half of a finger. Nice white head. It's doing a little bit of the fisheye thing, but it looks pretty decent. If you hear some panting, Roxy has come in. She was out in the yard running about. Has come to explore the beer shed a bit. The smell, hey girl. The smell is actually quite nice. It's just like a nice, light, bready, malty kind of smell to it, which I quite like. I'm a fan. I know a lot of people like IPAs and hoppier beers. I guess if there's hop heads, I'm a malt head. I prefer maltier beers. I love the Oktoberfest styles, things like that. I love, things like this, honestly, lagers. So let's give this a taste and let's go in. Cheers. Not a bad body on it. Given that it's only 4.5% and lighter in color, I did fear that this would be watery or super light bodied, and it's not whatsoever. It's pretty, I'd say it's probably medium bodied, not even medium light. This is middle of the road, decent kind of body on it for 4.5% sessionable type beer. That's a big victory for me already. Now, as far as the taste, you do pick up the bready notes. It's kind of slightly sweet. So, I don't know, kind of reminds me if you have the split top honey wheat bread or something like that. That's sort of what it tastes like to me. You get a little bit of sweetness. You definitely get a bit of the maltiness. You get a little bit of bread. And there is something else in there as well. It's almost like slightly sharp. It is odd. It's a little bit of a sharpness to it. Almost kind of reminds me somewhat of a cider, but it's not cider. It's just a tiny bit of that taste that you get in there that mixes in with the other kind of flavors. So, pretty decent for me, all in all. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else to say about this. Lightly sweet, has a decent crispness to it at the end there, which I do think has almost like a cider-like quality, that crispness. Good beer. So for 15 packs, $16.99, $1 and change a can, you can't beat this. This might be my new go-to beer. I enjoy trying and drinking all kinds of wild stuff, sours, big stouts, everything you can imagine. But you can't really drink 20, well, I guess you can, and I've done it in the past, but it's usually not a good idea to drink 20 different weird beers that are all over the place. So as the weather starts to warm up, if you want something nice and refreshing, but still has some flavor to it and actually tastes like beer, not just like water, this would be a great one. And again, bronze medal winner at the World Beer Cup, so it's not just me talking out my ass. Other people, fancier people than I, seem to like this as well. But yeah, decent beer. So for me, Columbus Lager, big thumbs up. I would definitely drink another one of these, which is good because I got 14 more of them in the fridge. So I'll have to take care of those. Maybe I'll drink a few at a time because it's such a low ABV, right? All in all, great beer, Columbus Lager, great job. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Hey, till next time, cheers.